Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. This is episode 133. The Bengals have climbed their way back into the in the hunt category when you see the playoffs, you know, the top seeds, the wild card teams, and then the in the hunt. Hey, I guess that means meaningful football in December. And at the very least, that's what we asked for, you know, get us to that point and let's see. Now, I wish they had 3 more wins and it wasn't such a low percentage chance that they're going to get there, but they beat the Titans and that was expected. They beat the Cowboys. That was expected. But to be honest, they could beat the Browns. They could beat the Broncos. Have you been watching the Broncos? They're good, but they're not great. The defense is really good. Nix is playing well for a rookie, but he threw 3 picks this past week. And then they would have the Steelers at the end, depending on what happens with the Steelers and Ravens next matchup. The Steelers may have nothing to play for that week either. There's a lot of scenarios. Most of them involve, let's see what happens Thursday night between the Broncos and Chargers. The loser of that game, we need to lose the other 2 games. It's an easier path if the Broncos lose this game on Thursday night, and then the Bengals beat them in week 17, and then handle their business versus the Steelers, and the Broncos have to play the Chiefs for the number 1 seed. Not the Broncos and Chiefs, but, you know, Chiefs will potentially need that game. We hope. That seems to be the most likely path. Otherwise, we need a lot of other things to happen, but either the Broncos or the Chargers need to lose out for the Bengals to get in. Doesn't matter. Are we going to see this team in the playoffs? It's unlikely. Do we want to see this team? Some people are like, I don't even want to see this defense against Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson again or Justin Herbert, any of these guys. So I get that part too. So we're still in evaluation mode. And one of the big players this week created a big play, big splash play, young player. We already focused on him about 4 weeks ago, but we got to do it again because when this guy scores an 87.5 PFF grade, highest of his career, his young career, we need to go back and look at McKinnley Jackson. And that's where we're at today. And that's today's film review for the 3rd round pick. How's he doing? We've had some, last review was like, doesn't look so good. This one, he may have taken that step. All right, we're coming down to where early in the game here, we've seen McKinnley Jackson before in the goal line packages and in their 3-4 packages. And the Titans get their first touchdown in the game. I want to show and point out his get off because it's going to be something that highlights his big play of the week. But he's at nose again. This is even though it's a goal line situation, the Bengals went kind of light here. Typically, you'll see them with even extra and more defenders. So I thought it was odd that they come out in just their base 3-4, right? You got your 3 defensive tackles and you've got your 2 edge guys. You know, I can tell who doesn't watch the show because I have to tell people that they run a 3-4 defense pretty weekly on the Twitter sphere. McKinnley Jackson goes from the nose over to directly over top of the right guard. And because the tight end's coming across, BJ Hill's going to knock him back over with some help from Akeem Davis-Gaither. Now you don't have enough time. You got to hold your water and hit this as it happens. And you see his get off there. The center is standing. This is the center right here. He was unable to get underneath McKinnley Jackson, but they are diving inside here and really blocking everything down. And they're just going to take McKinnley Jackson out of here. So at this point, we could stop watching him. You see that BJ Hill is going in this way, and we've got a down block coming this way. They're going to set this hole up. They're going to open this thing wide open for, I think it was Pollard, right? Pollard gets hurt eventually, and Tyjae Spears does the rest of the game. And that was it. So I do want to go back real quick, though, while we're watching other guys. And you see how this has been a theme for this year. 2 guys are going to take the same point of attack here. Rather than one should be playing this side, right? Let's clear this. One should be on this side of the blocker. One should be on this side of the blocker. You need someone to take on the blocker. So, I get why he's going as direct as he is. I don't know if they like said this is more on Akeem Davis-Gaither or more on Jermaine Pratt, unless you know exactly what it's called there. It's hard to tell, but nothing we can do with our young guys over there, Chris Jenkins and McKinnley Jackson. So we'll keep it moving and skip the special teams plays. Okay, next play here, I want to say is the second drive where the Titans are going to drive down McKinnley Jackson. Bengals in their 3-4 defense again. I hope you can point that out and see it quickly now, and I don't have to say it every time. But you're going to see here, for the first time in a while, McKinnley Jackson's actually going to get some eyes on the ball. You see Chris Jenkins sees it. You see him slapping him on the back. But watch Jackson here. Or watch Jenkins and Jackson. But watch Jackson. Again, I'm going to circle him for you. He's going to get underneath, and then he's going to stack the lineman up. He's going to peek, and he's going to be looking for the ball. Something he's really struggled with this season is locating the ball. So it's going to be the guard here, actually. Locating the ball carrier, knowing where the ball is. So you see him. He's going to get underneath. He's got good technique here, getting good leverage, sinking his hip down, sinking his knee down. You see these guys over here, right? It gets overblown, but every defender, good defender, run defender, will get low and drive up with their hips and their knees. But DJ Reader did it so often that they would show it so much that it became overblown. Like, yeah, of course he's doing that. That's what he does. But then when you go a whole season without these guys doing it consistently, you're like, come on, need some leverage, you need some power. But from here, is it enough just to hold your guy up? The next step is, can you find the ball carrier and disengage? So as he's underneath there, you probably get a little hands to the face, but you see the vision as he's looking this way. I believe he's going to pop and look this way next and search for the ball carrier, because there it is. Because so often this year, he has been completely oblivious to where the runner is. And I think it gets him in trouble. He ends up, is the play over? Is it done? Is it going the other way? It's hard to play and maintain leverage and maintain your point of attack and hold your ground if you don't know where the run is going. And so we've seen a lot of that this year. And I want to go back to Chris Jenkins as well, who has a double team here and then keeps fighting across. He doesn't get into the play, but I did enjoy seeing him take on that double team. McKinnley Jackson holds his ground really well there and then gets in to help make the tackle. Like, that's a good play. That's a very good play. We're going to get one later today. You guys obviously know the forced fumble, but see, this is more heavy. This is what I was talking about on the first play. Like, that's typically what the Bengals will do on run plays here, on goal line run plays. Another touchdown by the Titans, capping off that second drive. McKinnley Jackson. So the two nose tackles they do have most of the time will be McKinnley Jackson and J2 Faley. Sometimes they'll do it with Chris Jenkins. Sometimes they'll do it with BJ Hill. But the two main guys are Jackson and Tufele. So keep your eyes on Jackson here. Let's see what happens. We know the run goes this way. Try and keep your eyes on our target. Man, right? You see that right off the snap. That center. Really good hit. Everyone else is winning over here. McKinnley Jackson, this is his head on the ground. He gets absolutely demolished. And it's a touchdown. For the Titans, Bengals early in this game looked like they were not going to be able to defend the run at all. The Titans were just going to run it and keep this game close. Was that one not called a touchdown, if I remember? Okay, maybe it wasn't a touchdown. Maybe this is the next play. Either way, I thought, oh, man, this is going to be one of those days where they just run it down their throat. First guy off the ball, I want to point out while we got that side angle here. Well, look, everyone's mostly in their stance, right? I would say still in your stance. Okay, Chris Jenkins, you're getting out of it and firing this way. I like to see that. J2 Faley kind of firing up. BJ Hill firing this way. Still in your stance at the end. But nothing compared to McKinnley Jackson over here. Like, whoa, this guy is completely firing out of his stance. Low and, towards the ball rather than up like J2 Faley is doing there. So good on McKinnley Jackson. One of the questions I get a lot is, why is he lined up so far back? We did that a few weeks ago. I think it was after the Chargers game when we focused on Jackson and Jenkins. But I said, let's give you a little bit more time. Sometimes your vision and your timing of the game is not all the way there. But when you can get off the snap that fast, that's a good thing. Oh, yeah, that was this touchdown. This is a hilarious play. I've never seen anything like it. But let's watch McKinnley Jackson here, 93. He's down. He's ready to go. Let's watch when that ball moves. I'll try and click it as soon as that ball moves. See how fast I am here. Bang, I'm slow. But what does that do? Getting off as fast as you are, This guy's already falling to the ground here, trying to just get a hit, trying to get something on you. You caused some chaos there. There's a hole there for you to fill if you want to, Pratt. If Pratt would have been a little cleaner and scraping over the top instead of going this way, if he would have filled it that way, he'd probably be right here instead of right here. And you may have a chance to stop this thing. But good stick by Pratt. Jenkins is there to help. Just not enough. Not enough guys. Hubbard's getting absolutely demolished on this play. I want to go back. I don't want to pick on Hubbard too much. It looks like he may be done. But if we go back and look at him right here, I just want to show why this defense may get improved with Osai and Murphy playing more. I mean, come on. Come on. All right, back to 3-4 defense as expected with McKinnley Jackson on the field. Good leverage, good strike on that center, holding your ground. Get a cutback lane here, and the cutback lane allows your linebackers. Well, because you're taking on, you're not allowing those guys get to the second level, number one, but the cutback lane allows the linebackers to scrape over the top. So let's watch Jackson here. He's going to get underneath. Keem Davis-Gaither is the one that's really eyeing the running back, Tony Pollard here. The guy that wants to go get him is 75. 75 wants to go up and eliminate that linebacker. And then you'd be looking at a huge hole like this. But instead, McKinnley Jackson is doing just enough here to tie up. I want to say his arm is right here. I've got another angle of this on the other coach's film I get. And his arm is around him. Maybe a holding situation, but you just want to tie up Dylan Radins just enough and then let go so that Akeem Davis-Gaither can stay clean. So if you watch on the next frame, just enough there, McKinnley Jackson gets his arm back over and back in. Now the cutback lane should be there. But hey, good job by BJ Hill as well. Didn't mention that earlier, but Akeem Davis-Gaither, BJ Hill, both are able to get there while Jermaine Pratt comes back from them following I think it was the motion of Chig Akwanko. Still would like a little bit better leverage out of McKinnley Jackson there, but we'll take it. This is the young boy D-line right here. Joseph Osai, Miles Murphy, Chris Jenkins, McKinnley Jackson. Let's see how they do. A little pitch out. And Mike Hilton, Jermaine Pratt. Pratt had a interesting day, to say the least, and then an interesting reaction on Twitter afterwards. And I pointed this out in the Chargers game as well. Pratt reacts before the play so often. And that it's a shame that he's so dang stiff that he can't get to these plays, because watch him. As soon as he sees the alignment, now watch him. He's going to start sliding. He's looking that way. Which way is it? Right? He's instantly like, yeah. That's going in motion. I know what's happening. He was moving before anyone. He knows what's happening. He knows what the play is. Eyes on it completely. Gets to the outside here. Eyes on it. Oh, yeah. Fire. Shoot your gun. Backside. I mean, that's an A-plus run defense play. But yet we got so many issues with him in space that what do you do? It's going to be a big question. Get a pass rush situation. We don't get too many of those for McKinnley Jackson. He's basically been in there to be a nose and defend the run. And here he is here. We got two guys technically in the nose, in the A gap, you would say. Anyone between the either side of the center. So McKinnley Jackson, Chris Jenkins. This one's Jackson. This one's Jenkins. My brain wants to flip them because of the J names all the time. But we go with a rip move here by Jackson. Try and see if we can spin out of it. No, you're completely swallowed up at it at that point. Almost a sack, though, by Chris Jenkins. I want to go back. We're getting double teams over here on Hendrickson. Whew, getting cleared. You don't see that too often. Then we go with the arm over to go back inside by Jenkins. And then same with Osai, going to come back this way to squish Will Levis. So not much from McKinnley Jackson there. He gets pretty swallowed up. But the other guys do what they got to do. Back to the 3-4 defense, this time with Osai replacing Hubbard because Hubbard is now out. You got Tufele and McKinnley Jackson in the game. So you can kind of interchange a little bit which one you actually want to be the nose tackle if you really want to get that creative with it. These guys are all in pretty tight. And you're pretty wide with your edge guys because they've got 3 tight ends here. Lots of play action, booting for Levis, trying to make easy throws in the Brian Callahan wide zone offense. I should not just say Brian Callahan, the Brian and Bill, father-son wide zone. Those will get the Bengals. But you can only do so much with it if the offense is scoring, and today the Bengals were, or Sunday they were. Taking on a double team here for McKinnley Jackson. Slightly. The guy behind him, kind of give him a slingshot push. McKinnley Jackson again back here. What I mean is you're going to see, I want to say this guy here, and then this guy's going to come up behind and give an extra push. So I thought Jackson was holding his ground pretty well until that other guy gets up behind him. As the Titans are in a pistol formation here. So is the center and the guard. I had it mixed, wrong players mixed up. Osai is a bit of a nut, though. Anyone notice this? Anyone watch Osai? Like, so he takes the tight end on, disengages. Nick Van Eyck, I believe, goes inside. He's not there, but he is not done, man. He looks like he's falling all over himself the whole time. I'll let it play and watch. He's like his feet are barely touching the ground like the whole time. He's like tiptoeing. I've enjoyed Osai lately. He had 3 sacks in 3 games, and then he didn't get one this game. He was close. But I think he looks like a rotational defensive end that you could keep, and he's a free agent, so it's something we'll have to worry about. I mean, when does Mike Hilton trigger here? Watch this. Mike Hilton in the slot. He's leaning forward already. Oh, my. Put your eyes up, Vinette. Pick him up. What a clean, timely call by Lou Anarumo there, using your player the best way you can in Mike Hilton. So let's see what McKinnley Jackson did on this play, though, because you saw him in the backfield there if you're wondering what happened. So it's a reach block. If you ever hear me talk about a reach block, if you're around when we watch Matt Lee tape, we did a lot of reach blocks. The center gets to this side of the nose to allow this guy to climb up, and either he's going to go take this guy or he's going to take this guy coming around. But this is a tough block for the center, super tough, because he expects you to go this way, and he's trying to get all the way around you to wall you off. So if as he's coming this way, you go this way, you can really get him. And that's what Jackson does. Not as exaggerated as my lines were, but I was trying to give you the point. Going back inside, he and Hendrickson would have blown that play up if Mike Hilton didn't. So I would say it's another win for McKinnley Jackson. He's had a couple in this game. I've liked his get off so far. I've liked his vision so far. All seem improved. And I think we're seeing that those flashes a little bit more often than we were for the mid-stretch of the season. Pass rush opportunity. I thought this was a face mask on Chig versus Josh Newton. Tell me he didn't have his face. All right, let's watch McKinnley Jackson here. On the inside of the right guard, he's got a pass rush situation. Can we get him? He's going with the bull rush. Now he's kind of just stacking and playing. He's pushed the pocket, I would say. If the pocket in the middle is like right here, you're good. But when it gets to here, I need my DNs to win. And on this one, the Bengals had a stunt between this side, or else Hendrickson would probably be coming around this corner. So the stunt is meant to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Or I'm sorry, what McKinnley Jackson's doing is meant to keep the quarterback in the pocket while the stunt does its magic. And it didn't work. So the ball gets off and they've got a completed pass. And what can we even complain about the flags and maybe the worst officiated game I've ever seen? But come on, give me that. That looked like a legal hands to the face of some sort. You can't grab the defender's face mask. You can put your hand in his face too, but a flat hand, I don't think you can grab the way he did. Like the way Chris Jenkins gets off the ball here. I like the way BJ Hill flows towards the ball. We're going to have a conversation about BJ Hill. What is he worth? A solid player, but is he a difference maker? We don't have a lot of solid guys. But McKinnley Jackson's at the nose again, of course. Flows inside as they pull guys the other way. BJ Hill flows with it, as you can see, and helps make the tackle. I want to go back, though. I thought Chris Jenkins gets off this ball very quickly. Dips that shoulder to go inside. Now they're trying to block him inside, so, it doesn't end up resulting in anything. But I want to see here Jordan Battle, how quickly the communication happens between Cam Taylor-Britt, between Jermaine Pratt. Watch Battle here talking to, okay, let's switch it. No. Yep. You got him. You get out of my way. And then as soon as his eyes are back up again, looking at Battle, he's going to realize I've got a guy coming in to block me from the side. And then this guy's coming to block Jermaine Pratt. That means somebody has to fill this here. Somebody's got to fill this lane. Let's see who does it. Battle. So BJ Hill scraping across, Battle getting off his block of that receiver or tight end. I'm not sure who it was, and then filling that hole. We haven't had too many chances to talk about Battle because he hasn't had impact plays. He should have had that fumble return for a touchdown in this game. But overall, I think he's been solid. And again, I want to point out that it looks like Jenkins is getting off low and fast again. These guys seem to be improving in terms of flashes, whether it's happening for tackles for a loss, pressure, sacks. Clearly that's not happening, but the first step is to look like you understand the speed, flow, and timing of the NFL level game, and it's starting to happen a little bit more often for these young guys. This will be another one to watch Jermaine Pratt on. See how he comes across and gets through this block. I want to look at McKinnley Jackson first. So eyes on McKinnley Jackson at the nose. See, I don't know if you guys noticed that. Watch. Remember he got cleared out earlier by the guy blocking down on him? Watch his eyes right away. Right at the snap. Where's he look? Oh, I see him. Let's not get blown out of the hole this time. Understand where the guy is coming from. Get your hands on him and hold your ground as best you can. So the play goes away from him. So let's watch Pratt. Very similar situation right here again to the last play where the safety's got to come up. He and Pratt have to understand who they've got. Now let's watch Pratt here as he dives inside, takes on the tight end, and he's going to fight through it right here with one hand locked up inside of him, getting held sort of. Nice reach out, strong grip. He's always had really strong grip. That's why he's arguing that he's not missing tackles. That's why PFF says he doesn't miss a lot of tackles. Yeah, you don't get to a lot of tackles lately. You're not missing them. You're missing if it was two-hand touch. You got to get your hands on him. Another leverage moment for McKinnley Jackson. If you saw that before it happened, look at this. He is underneath that guy. I'll bring it back real fast for you if you can watch it from the snap. McKinnley Jackson here. Watch how he gets off low. Both of them are super low. But look at that. Both guys, Jackson and Jenkins, are getting off low. And Jenkins is going to be a guy that sacrifices his body for 15 years in the NFL. Watch it, because that's the way he plays. McKinnley Jackson, though, is getting off low, powerful. That's a great get off there for a nose, and then lock him out. Now, can we stack? Can we peek? And can we shed the blocker? The run's going away from us, so it doesn't really matter here. It ends up being a big run for the Titans because Cam Taylor-Britt saying he got held. I thought he got held while I was watching it as well. But at the same time, I need you to fall, do something. Eyes back on McKinnley Jackson. Let's see if we can watch it from this angle. Getting low, bench pressing, lifting that guy up, getting eyes. Where is he? Everyone's doing the same thing, right? Where are the eyes of everyone? We got one arm in. We got one arm in. We got our arm in and our eyes. Where are our eyes? We're looking for that ball. We're looking for the ball. That's run defense. It's not always just jumping upfield and causing chaos. It's let me see where the ball is. Let me see where the ball is. Everyone with eyes on them as you stack these guys up and try to figure out who's there to make the play. Now, as it bounces out, so eyes on Cam Taylor-Britt here. If you want to say, because we've had this a few times with Geno Stone where people automatically said, oh, Geno Stone stinks because he's missing tackles. Jordan Battle has inside here. Cam Taylor-Britt is outside contain. Trey Hendrickson is outside contain also, and he already lost his job. But just focusing on these two guys, Cam Taylor-Britt has to be outside. He cannot allow any running back to get outside of him. He cannot allow himself to get blocked. He cannot allow anyone to come down that sideline. He needs to force this running back inside to multiple players that are here, not just Jordan Battle, but coming across, we got linebackers coming from the other way. So you have to stay outside. If you start losing this block, if the guy starts holding you, you fall, you drop down, you do something to make it look like you're being held. Otherwise, you're giving up a big run. And Cam's done that, I think, far too often for a guy that when he was coming out of Nebraska, I'm like, here's a physical, good tackler with speed. He should at least hold on to those strengths in the NFL. And the tackling and run defense part has not held up with Cam Taylor-Britt. Again, we're getting off this ball very fast. I don't know who knocked him down here, but watch McKinnley Jackson at the nose. Right? You see what I'm saying? You're getting off low and fast. I mean, Chris Jenkins is still in his stance. Joseph Osai looks like a statue. He's still directly where he's supposed to be. We've got, I hate the stance for DNs. I know they have to defend the run first, but it's so hard to get a pass rush when you got both feet like that. Like, this is a pass rush stance. This is I'm defending the run stance. Well, you know what? Sometimes the Bengals do this, and I've talked about this. They'll just like, all right, you rush. Everyone else push the pocket, and we'll have him drop into coverage on our 3-4 defense. Is that what was going to happen? No. Miles Murphy's just now getting there. But we're going to have to see what happened with the defensive tackles here. This is the pick 6 by Geno Stone. We should probably go back. I don't know what Will Levis is looking at here. We've talked about middle of the field open versus middle of the field closed. If you just have two routes, one going this way and one going this way, and we have a middle of the field safety, so the middle of the field is closed, this ball has to go out to this deep guy, or you hold it longer and you hit this guy here on the sideline. Because the check down's not open. Bengals have done a good job. It's funny because I said that he was in a pass rush stance. Osai, he's actually the one that dropped back. So they're fooling me pre-snap. There we go. Anyways, so as Will Levis gets here, the guy picking him up, because when we talked about this last week as well, Newton isn't going to carry him all the way across the field, just in case there's somebody else coming this way. That's his job. It's a cover 3. So he's got his, right? As this receiver is going into Geno Stone's area, Geno Stone has to pick him up, but Stone's eyes are locked into Will Levis. Like, are you really going to throw this, boy? Oh, he did throw it, and he breaks on it instantly. Like I said, the move would be to lock Stone up in the middle of the field, in my opinion, lock him up in the middle of the field, and then hit this bomb. Will Levis throws it, Stone grabs it, and we are off to the races. How about Miles Murphy should get some credit here, because he's about to lay a block. Let's watch him. Wasn't a mean block. I'm sorry, I got a little excited there to make it sound like it was going to be. But that's enough to be the difference between a pick 6 and not. So I'm into it. And then the play you're all been waiting for, right? Look at the get off by McKinnley Jackson again. Hey, you start getting off the ball like this, I can get excited. I'm going to try and pause it as soon as the ball gets snapped. Let's see how quick I am. I'm not fast enough. My get off is slow. Time it. Oh, there we go. Like, this is good. And then they want to pull here. JC Latham, I think, messes this up, but they're pulling this guy around the block. Latham's got to come down and block this, I want to say. And Jackson is off it fast. Oh, they were going to down block with the other guy. They're going to pull Latham and the left guard. They're going to pull the guard tackle. Be a counter, guard tackle counter probably. But Jackson is off to the races. You can't do that. Not if he's getting off like that. Man, a nice get off is big for what it can create. I want to close my eyes. Jordan Battle, what are you doing? Why switch your hands? What are you doing? Was he going to celebrate? All right, eyes back on McKinnley Jackson. I want to see if I can pause it here again for this get off. I'm too slow. Too slow to block McKinnley Jackson, too. So this is a tough block for the center. You see everyone's coming down, right? They're all coming down. You see this? Because they want to pull this guy around, and then bring is that Spears or Pollard, whoever it is. They want to bring him. It's got to be Pollard. Spears had the bubblehead. So this is a guard tackle, counter, pull. McKinnley Jackson gets all the way through, fights through, and then knocks it out. This is a tremendous play because he gets contacted there, fights through it enough, and then punched out as he's falling to the ground, and then squirts it out even more there, and then gets a block. And they're going to run. Eyes on McKinnley Jackson. He deserves the credit here. Joseph Osai with a nice block, too. Oh, my gosh. Hey, that is an A-plus play. That's the best play we've seen a Bengals defensive tackle prospect make. Zach Carter did have a forced fumble. I still think that's better. I still think because of the get off, too, that's better. We haven't had that in a long time, and they've drafted their share of defensive tackles. That's the best play we've had one make. All right, lock them out. Eyes inside. Can you stay with the play? BJ Hill does. BJ Hill does a really good job with that. We might get a chance to see Jordan Battle on this one, if I remember correctly. So the play goes outside, so it's not much for our young man here wearing number 93 with his best career game, 87.5 PFF rating. But it's going to go outside. So BJ Hill, they're all going to do the similar things, right? We're going to lock these guys out, keep them at bay, peek. Can we find the ball? There, they both peek. They see it's going out now. BJ's already moving. Jackson's a little bit late. But let's watch Jordan Battle come up from the alley here. He's got a We're getting held on this way. We're getting held over here. What are all these holdings going on? But Battle does a nice form tackle. He's good at that. At the very least, he aggressively comes downhill. He's got a lot of energy, and he's a good tackler. We can figure out the other safety spot, and maybe Geno Stone is playing better. Maybe he finishes the year like this. He's already not PFF's even in the bottom, I think, 12 anymore. He was the worst graded safety for a long time. He's still not graded well, but he's not in the Nick Scott range anymore. All right, 3-4 defense again. Hey, we got McKinnley Jackson trying some moves here. Let's watch his get off, though. I like that one, too. Not great, but good. Right? He and BJ Hill are on time. Tufele's a little slow. But you try and move, try and do a little something. We got missed tackles. We got a Jermaine Pratt missed tackle. We got maybe a Josh Newton missed tackle that may be considered. Let's watch McKinnley Jackson's moves here, though. Let's see what he tries to go with. Oh, man, he goes for the club. And it works. That's good separation. You've gained that much separation clubbing them. That's solid. You got to be quicker, though, right? We talked about this during draft season. What was it? It had to be Byron Murphy and Johnny Newton we were talking about. But when they separate and create this distance, can you get here? Can you penetrate fast enough afterwards without that guy recovering and getting on top of you? Right there, right? And he can't. He's a nose tackle. See, you got to be Jermaine. I don't want to see anything. You've got this guy dead to rights. I mean, it's not like we're even a hard-hitting defense, right? If they were cracking dudes all the time and they missed tackles, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, it is what it is. Instead, they're a pretty soft tackling team. Why are you also missing tackles? There's got to be a balance there, right? You can't be soft because you'll miss too many. You can't be too aggressive because you'll miss too many. I missed the get off. Yeah, a little slow there. Pass rush situation. Looks like the entire young line's out there. Let's see. I see Murphy. I see Osai. I didn't see the other one. No, it's BJ Hill. One veteran out there. Everyone else is young. Let's watch McKinnley Jackson. The eyes back on him. Picking his spot there. Where are you going to go? Which way are you going to go? Going for a club again. And then to a rip. Doesn't work. Converts that into maybe I go right down the middle of his chest with power. Nope. Tackled by Jermaine Pratt and Jordan Battle. I think we only have a few more plays left to go here. Jackson's not at the nose again. Let's see if we can get a pass rush. We got a rip move, turn into a spin move. Young boys are out there. Miles Murphy's out there, which we could watch Miles Murphy. I'll probably end up posting a lot of clips on Miles Murphy on my Twitter account because Murphy had quite a few wins that didn't really turn into pressures. But let's watch Jackson here. Keep our focus. He's going to try and go a little step this way and then go that way on Dylan Radins. Radins with the jump set going that way first and really trying to get on him quickly. See, you know what I talk about when I talk about the rip move? Now, it can't be an automatic penalty because where did you start? Where was his hand when you started? It's fine right there on the shoulder to the inside of the shoulder. Now, you can't grab. I get that. But there's a lot of grabbing and blocking. You're supposed to knock that arm down. Your job before you do that rip is to get that arm out of there. The other arm that comes through is to block it and keep you clean. So if you can't get that arm out of there and then you end up in a situation like this where like I'm getting choked, you're not really. You did that by going to the outside, which is why it's not always called. This is the interception by Josh Newton. Young boy defensive line out there gets a little bit of pressure, gets a hit on Will Levis. I'd consider that a hit. I think that's within like 2 steps and you contact the quarterback. I'm going to call that a hit. I want you to look. We'll get to McKinnley Jackson in a second here, but I want you to watch Miles Murphy. I know the stat sheet looks not great for your year 2 first round pick, but he does have more pressures than last year. He does have more quarterback hits than last year, and he's got less snaps so far. You know, he'll probably surpass those snaps over the final 3 games, but still, first 2 years only getting 600 snaps. This is a developmental player that they need to accelerate the development the last 2 years. But let's watch Miles Murphy. We got a lot of M's here as well. Stutter, you see that stutter? We've seen this with other prospects before. You never see him do that from the left side. I feel like it's always from the right. Stutter, and then power on J.C. Latham, who is a power tackle. I mean, that's a lot of – you got that guy on his heels here scrambling. I mean, you bent his back backwards, and then you get the hand on the quarterback. We will take that. Now, let's focus on McKinnley Jackson. I want to see what he can do in a pass rush situation. How good can he get as a pass rusher? We're going with power again, right to his chest, huh? And then we get hit by the center. So it is what it is. Not every play is meant for your nose tackle to get some pressure. A lot of times you're dealing with the double team. Jackson at the nose. Mason Rudolph takes off. This is just end of the game, low energy situations. Super low energy. I didn't like it. I'm not trying to say I accept it because the way some of these guys were tackling at the end was pitiful, but not much going on here for many of our guys to talk about. But I wonder if we're going to get to see the one angle of Pratt missing that tackle. He had a couple in that last drive, but Hendrickson's out there. Cedric Johnson's out there. It looks like we got a little bit of pressure from B.J. Hill. Yeah, B.J. Hill's here. Let's watch McKinnley Jackson first. Let's see what he does. I think he gets doubled again. Was it supposed to be a stunt? B.J. Hill fights through it. Close for Akeem Davis-Gaither. So this isn't it's after these plays where the energy really starts to drop off. It's 31-14 here. I think it was after this touchdown. Once it's 31-21, that's when the defense really starts letting off the gas. Bengals just playing everything deep. If you wonder why this stuff looks so easy, watch the secondary. Watch how they all just go back. Everyone's just playing back. Just don't give up a big one play score. But these are your chances as a young guy in the defensive line. You can still try to win, work on something, work on a move here. So they're trying to get the stunt. His job here, McKinnley Jackson's job, is to tie up this guy and allow BJ Hill to come around that way. So watch it again with knowing that. Get in, grab it, get a piece of that center as well, and then let BJ Hill come around. Ball's already out, so it is what it is. Seven minutes left in this game, so just a few more snaps to go, giving all these reps to these young guys here in an effort to get some development out of them. Surprised it's more McKinnley Jackson than Chris Jenkins, though. I would like to see Chris Jenkins get this development. You don't really need a nose out there right now. Jackson right here between left guard and center. This is not a bad throw by Mason Rudolph there. You see how he's reading and he's looking deep. And as he steps up, gets a little dart throw to Tyjae Spears, who was a big favorite of ours. A lot of us, I should say. Not ours as if it's complete with all of us, but a big favorite for a lot of us draft season 2023, the year the Bengals took Chase Brown. If you missed last week's episode on Chase Brown, dude's playing well, and he had another good game against the Titans as well. All right, let's see what Jackson did here. We see a little win on Trey Hendrickson, so we'll come back to that as well. We got a stunt again here. No. Man, BJ Hill is really getting power under Dylan Radins on that one. Let's watch that again. Let's go to BJ Hill on this side. Karate chopping, then he gets underneath. Good leverage. He is under Radins. Radins is fighting for his life there. He's going to step on his quarterback. I don't know how that quarterback wasn't hit. Oh, yeah, and I want to watch Hendrickson now get off here. Let's watch Hendrickson on this side. Double swap. Double swipe, I meant to say. Not a swap. Double swipe. Oh, almost getting there. Miles Murphy, you got anything for us? No. Not to be mean, but he didn't. So that was McKinnley Jackson. And man, you tell me if a young defensive tackle starts to get the speed of the game, his get off starts to look better, he's playing with better leverage, better vision, then I'm confident the rest is going to come. And it may take some time. I've done this study quite a few times that if after their rookie year, if they're not at least showing the flashes, or if the PFF grade isn't above like a 50, then you got a problem. But if you can keep it where you're keeping your head just above water that rookie year, you're not drowning out there at the end. You're not, just hoping and praying for a tackler or a running back to run into you so you can get that tackle. Then we're okay. And you can see the progress in year 2. And then year 3 is when these guys become good. And the issue here, though, is that the Bengals wanted 2 rookies in the second and third round at defensive tackle, a historically slow developing position. They wanted them to play big roles in this defense this year. I mean, they didn't go get another nose tackle, right? It's not that Sheldon Rankins replaced DJ Reader. They asked McKinnley Jackson to replace DJ Reader. And that's just not fair. Not fair for a young guy at the end of the third round with a comp pick, right? So when I see that, I say we got to give him time. But it's nice to see the flashes. I'm not sure what he'll be. I'm not sure if he'll ever be a great player or not, but I don't think he's Zach Carter. I don't think he's going to be a complete waste of space. And it's because of these moments and the little bit of progress we have seen from him. Remember, he was injured the first half of the season, maybe, definitely the first quarter of the season, but it probably lingered for a couple of weeks after that. So I think we're happy with it. We're going to monitor it over the final 3 weeks. I've mentioned Miles Murphy. Hopefully we can see him one more time in one of these reviews. He needs to make a splash play. Like the pass rush wins are great. I need a sack. I need a big play. And now that Hubbard's out, he'll get his chance. And these final 3 weeks will be huge in his evaluation. And he's in line to start next year. So we got to figure that part out. Bengals defense, though, had their best game. And not saying much because it was the Titans, but if we got this defensive performance, at least creating turnovers, think of like the 2005 Bengals. Offense was good. Defense just created turnovers. Otherwise, they stunk. They gave up yards all day long, but they would get a sack, a forced fumble, an interception, a lot of interceptions that year. And if you can do that, you get the ball back to your offense, even in a day where the offense isn't perfect. You see Joe Burrow was upset at the end, right? So even in those days, the defense can bail you out a couple times. And if they would have had this maybe 2-3 other times this year, we wouldn't have started this show talking about the 3% chance they have at making the playoffs. The next time you'll see me will be on the postgame show after the Bengals-Browns this Sunday, the Jake and Joe postgame show presented by First Star Logistics. We've got giveaways. I teamed up with Wade and Williamson, who creates custom jerseys, and this is the second run we've done. First Star is giving away 6 of them. They're all sold out. You can't order them. So 3 on Twitter, 3 on the postgame show. Make sure you get involved with both and check out First Star Logistics on Twitter. You'll have all the details on that tweet of who you got to follow, what you have to retweet to get involved there. And then come watch us review this postgame show. If the Bengals get back to 7-8, not trying to count the chickens before they're hatched, but good reason to believe they can get there. What an interesting season, Well, until next time, Houday.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.